right, boys, bring it in.
Well, anyway, I was talking with Eddie, and we've always been trying to do this, talking about an offensive zone line change. And Eddie pointed out that one game where the kid line had a great shift of about, I don't know, it was probably about 50 seconds in the offensive zone. And
Possibly
they
longer.
and they pretty much just wore themselves out and lost the control of the puck, didn't have the ability to back check, and led to a scoring chance for the other team. So it's something that, again, do they practice it? I'm sure it's talked about. It's a matter of self-discipline and realizing game situations, what's going on, and rotating one guy out at a time and sustaining that pressure, especially in the second period, whether it's a long change for the other team and they can't make that cheap, and
And the door, like one of the doors is literally in the offensive zone, so it's fairly easily to make that
right
change.
on the
Well,
second the
so
second
so,
period.
so little Ed, piggyback on what Coach is saying, and kind of explain to the fans, like for those that didn't play the game, what they should be looking for on the play when they can recognize that that's happening, and what the Rangers should be doing.
Well, I mean, a big thing I've been hearing lately, I mean, I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but players or fans or casual fans are wondering like why it's so difficult for like an NHL player to not play like a full game or like play longer than like say a minute shift or 30-second shift. Obviously, the players get extremely tired skating for that long on the ice and everything. Your legs just get tired. You got to take a rest, and obviously, to extend your stamina over the course of the game, you need a little bit of a breather. But anyway, so those kids line is doing a very good job at sustaining pressure. I even wrote down, I think in the Anaheim game on Schneider's goal. Yes, it was a beautiful goal by Schneider, but the kids line did all the work. They got the puck into the zone. They forechecked. They cycled well, and the puck ended up by Schneider and a goal for on a screen or whatever happened. The play that Coach Ed was just talking about, a very similar thing happened where they had the puck in their zone for almost a minute. I thought it was closer to 2 minutes. I'd love to see how much it actually was. But they just stayed out there too long. And the important thing is you have to be a little bit unselfish. I know in a situation like that, it's so juicy. Eventually the puck's going to go in. Eventually you're going to get that open shot. Kakko obviously waited too long for that open shot, but it did come. But at some point he's got to realize, you know what? I'm dead. I'm not going to be able to back check. Let me go off. Or not Kakko. Laffy could have done it. Heel could have done it. They really should be taking turns. That's the end goal, is where Kakko goes off first, then say Zibanejad comes on. Then they keep the pressure on into the corner. Heedle cycles over, goes off the ice. Kreider comes on. Whatever. I'm just using examples. But my point is, you have to take turns into the offensive zone, keeping the puck in there. And yes, that scoring opportunity came, but they could have had the puck in the zone for 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes if they keep running that O change.
Yeah,
I know that
and
was
you
long-winded, but
no, I think it's good. You explained it well.
At
And
least
I
get
think
at least get it to the point where Panarin's out there and he shoots it into the goalie's glove and gets a whistle.
yeah.
so. I think another thing that happens in these situations that may get overlooked is there was a play in particular last night where that was happening, where they had some ozone sustained pressure, and all of a sudden a pass gets thrown across the ice, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And in comes Heedle off the bench, flying into the zone, and gets a one-timer, and he didn't score, but it was a great chance. And that kind of stuff can happen too when you get fresh legs off the ice. Even if the puck doesn't come out of the ozone, you can create disarray in the defensive zone by a guy coming in, and that guy's coming in and reading the whole zone. He sees all the holes in the defense,
Yep.
and can
Well,
really
also
exploit that.
the defense is going to forget about that guy. They're not going to realize there's anybody there. They're going to see a player leaving.
Right.
Now they're going
Right.
to focus somewhere else, like you're saying, in disarray.
And they can
Keep it
exploit that.
keep in mind also, to the casual fan, if you never skated in a hockey game, when you do a series of stops and starts, that destroys your legs.
You're exhausted.
Yeah. So no
Your
matter
ankles
what
too.
condition you're in as an NHL player, the speed they're skating at when you do stops and starts, it just knocks your legs out. So a player has to realize his limits. And
Yeah.
the key to the whole change is, we talk about it all the time, is get to the point where you know you're at where you're gonna be done and get off. Don't be
75%.
done. Yeah, don't be done and then say, now I gotta get off. Now
We're
down
25%
2 men.
left in the tank.
Right.
Yeah, and
the
that's another
key.
thing too,
That's the
is
key.
I think actually Brian Leach might have said it, or so I forget. Maybe it was one of my coaches. It's a lot easier to recover when there's 25% left in the tank than it is when you're down to 0. And I mean, even shout out to Poppy O'Neill. He always told me, never wait till you get completely empty on gas. You always fill up your tank when you're at 25%. So it sounds crazy, but something like that, something like that, where it's like you have to know, you have to have discipline, you have to be unselfish, you have to know that, hey, you created that whole play in the offensive zone, but you knew it was time to get off. Then say Zibanejad went in, scored the next on the next shift or on that same shift, whatever the case may be. And if it's up to, and then it's up to the coach to be like, Kako, that was all you made that whole play. And I know Coach Ed and I and Coach Mike, our other coach, do a great job at acknowledging the little things and where the play actually develops. And I think Kako kind of learned after that. So we'll see how it goes from here.
Yeah, we'll see. That's a good topic and something to look out for in the games. All right. So
one last thing. The biggest thing is communication. You don't all change at the same time, because then it's a free out of the zone. You have to do one at a time. Hey, I'm going, you go next.
Yeah, so Heedle will say it in Czech, Laffy in French, and Kako
Exactly.
in Finnish.
Bingo. Then the other players are all Russian. They won't know what they're saying. It's perfect.
They have no idea what's going on. By the way, isn't it ironic that Kako is Finnish and has absolutely no finish to his game? Sorry,
what is ironic?
That was nice.
Yeah, that's ironic. Yeah.
I think it's ironic.
No,
all right.
What does ironic mean?
What do you mean?
That's a Seinfeld episode. Forget it, guys.
I don't even. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I missed that Seinfeld joke. Anyway,